I like to get into these though, because like, how does that feel? Like you've been out there for some time now. Like you've been out what? How long you been out there now?
Going for 6 years now.
Yeah, 6 years. And your last archery harvest was here in Ohio, at least almost over 6 years ago. So it's been some time. So how does this feel that you've pretty much covered the entire gamut of like hopeful when you first get there, and then it's hard. It's really harder than probably most other hunting implements to where then you start having some which human we'll call it human because human issues come up with shooting the bow to where you kind of was trying away from it to now you're back at it, and then immediately as soon as you made a decision to go back at it, you harvested your first animal with it. So you gotta tell me how's this feel? How's the whole heart pattern at this point?
Well, to start off, I wish I would have paid a little more attention to the deer archery tag. I probably would have done that a lot sooner in life and maybe wouldn't have taken so long to get my first archery kill out here.
Okay.
But there was a little bit of me that was like, I have rifles that I've never really got to use a whole lot. And, so I was just kind of focused on, I'll just use my rifles for deer season and that'll be fun and that'll be fine. But then when I realized, oh, why haven't I been getting this archery tag? I may not have gotten so down in the dumps and maybe would have worked a little bit harder, knowing that there were two species that I had an opportunity to hunt and one a seemingly better opportunity to harvest. Now, I'm not saying it's a gimme by any means because it's not, but I've only had two deer tags since I've been out here, which again, we get on the frustration of that. But I've been successful on both deer tags. The first one, not your, which we've talked about in the past, but not your typical mule deer hunt with high caliber, high pressure rifle that you're shooting like a 7 millimeter .08, a 308, a 270, what have you. I shot my first mule deer with a 350 Legend.
Little straight wall.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many people can say that they've done that, but I'm one of them. So that was really fun. But to get back to, you know, the relief, it did take a minute for it to sink in because of the weather being a factor, getting the deer field dressed, trying to get her back to the house as quick as I could, get broke down and put on ice as quickly as I could. Once I got through all of that, it finally had settled in and it felt really good to be back in the game.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I'm happy for you, dude. I was happy when you started sending me those texts, and you and I had talked a little bit when actually you called me, and I was either doing an audit, I was doing something. I don't remember exactly what I was doing, but I got back to you as soon as I could, and maybe it was a PT test. I don't know. Anyways, that's not important. I got back to you, and we started talking a little bit, and I was super pumped for you. But then you were kind of showing me some photos but of the blood. The problem is out there, man, the blood can soak up so quickly or hides in that dirt so well because of the soil. It's hard to blood trail. Like I'll be honest, it's a little rough to blood trail. Like, and so I was sitting there and I was waiting to hear back from you. And the last time we had talked, I said you might want to give her. You and I agreed probably give her a little bit of time, give her the shot. And then I think a little bit. I don't know how long it was. It wasn't very long. Also, I got a picture of the deer. I'm like, hey, he found her. so, so I
Yeah,
was super pumped for you, man.
yeah, it's hard in that time of year, they've got that summer coat on, they blend in with that really dry grass that's out there. And
Hmm.
so, she was pretty well laying in the wide open, and my worst fear was that she dove into some really thick oak brush down over across the road. That was going to be a nightmare trying to find her, and so I'm glad it ended up playing out the way it did.
Yeah.